Chase the wiener.
Test. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was picking up there for a second. So yeah, do apologize about some of that. We will have a lot of that rectified. We are going to be going live here in a little bit, so I'll send you back to the scene just for a minute, and we'll get right back to you.
What's a good suggestion for brake bias?
Your voice is really quiet on the broadcast. Just keep an eye on your Facebook messages so that way I'm not interrupting anything.
Alright, and we're back, everyone. Sorry about that. I had to change a couple of settings. Hopefully I'm coming through a little bit better. We got the engine noise turned up loud and clear for everyone today. That was another problem we had. These cars are extremely loud, so I will probably be screaming into the microphone. Looks like we're already having some troubles here in practice with some of the drivers really finding the brakes. far as our live timing goes, it looks like Adam Scorpion's going to actually get down the lap in practice. Alright, we're going to bring it to the scenic camera so you guys can hear me a little bit better because, man, those engines are loud. A little bit of overview of the Circuit of the Americas. Located in Austin, Texas. It opened in 2012. The track length is 3.41 miles today. We have 20 turns, elevation changes of over 130 feet, notably steep uphill in the turn 1. Primary uses is Formula 1, MotoGP, NASCAR, and other sports car racing. Today we are using SRX cars that are not entirely designed for your typical road racing. Drivers are going to be facing a lot of problems with the amount of power and the brake setup on these cars. It does not like to turn. We've ran a couple of laps here. It is drivable, but it is very hard, especially at this track. So keep an eye on that, especially in the start of the race. I think we're going to have some mayhem. Hopefully we don't have a whole lot and we don't have a bunch of bend up race cars. Man, those SRX sound good going by. We will be throwing a stage brake, just like NASCAR does with most of these road races. Somewhere probably, I believe it's the 15 lap mark. So if your stream looks like it changes, apologize. There's really no way for me to throw a yellow by myself. So I have to go back into the game and throw the yellow manually. Once everybody gets a chance to pick, grab tires and fuel, we will go back to live racing. We'll group back up, and hopefully, again, we don't have mayhem there that changes the outcome of the race, but that's why we watch. So as of right now, we have number 49 Nathan Hill, number 84 Adam Swope, number 27 Jake Stevens, number 8 Jeremiah Vincent, number 7 Bill Wadsworth, number 5 Nicholas Camp, and number 10 John Adams currently racing in this race. We do have a couple out. We are missing Kyle Johnson and I believe Gregory. And if this is something you think you'd be interested to, we're always accepting new applicants for our racing league. There's no minimum requirements. Just go ahead and find us on the channel here and let me know your iRacing ID. I'll get you added. The race is $5 for the entire season, and the top 3 drivers get trophies at the end of the season. But I am going to shut my mouth here and take you back some of these beautiful V8 sounds. Well, I do believe practice is going to be coming to a close here very shortly. We are at the 6:20 mark. As the times read out in practice right now, the 8-car of Jeremiah Vincent is currently leading with 220.795, followed by Nathan Hill at 221. 0.197. Oh, just skipped there. Sorry. All right, everyone. This will be qualifying. These laps will count. The drivers have 2 laps to lay down the fastest lap they possibly can to set the grid for the race. So we will be on board with this. It's going to move around cards. It's basically going to choose who it wants to watch. So keep an eye on it, and the race should be starting here in the next 6 to 7 minutes. Alright, we have a couple of drivers. Everyone except the 8-car has finished a lap without registering a time. That means they exceeded track limits in some ways. So they have 1 lap they need to get this done. And I'm now seeing too that the 8 of Jeremiah Vincent also just posted its first lap with no lap data, so that means they exceeded the track limit somewhere as well. So hopefully these drivers can ease the throttle back a little bit and get these cars with a posted time. Alrighty, it looks like most of our drivers have posted their second lap at this point. As we are currently sitting, we have Jeremiah Vincent. Oops, sorry. As we are currently sitting, we have Nicholas Camp on 452 in P1. Nathaniel Hill is has a 221.776 sitting P2. Jeremiah Vincent has a 223.5 sitting P3. Adam Swope has a 224.693 sitting P4, and Jake Stevens is sitting P5 with a 225.9. We still have some drivers on the track, so that possibly means that my timing screen here is off, whether or not those laps were qualified or counted or not. I'm not sure. We will find out here shortly for you. I do have somebody in the race to let me know when everyone is qualified. We'll be moving forward with the race. So stay tuned because we are very close to that. Alright, I am getting word that everyone has qualified. As the original standing state that I said before are the current ones that we're going to the race with. That being said, it looks like Bill Wadsworth and John Adams failed to log a clean lap, so they will be starting in the back somewhere next to each other. We have 7 cars tonight. Like I said, we normally have 9 for this.
Are available in the marshalling office and posted on the notice boards around the steward's office and medical center.
Well, that was louder than I'm used to hearing. Like I said, we normally have 9 drivers, and we are currently looking for more, obviously. Hopefully it'll be an exciting race. Hopefully we get some good battles tonight. But it is a very long track, and not a lot of people on it. So if you're at a test and tune, this is your dream. Alright, looks like we have our grid set. We have in P1, Nicholas Camp, P2, Nathaniel Hill, P3, Jeremiah Vincent, P4, Adam Swope, P5, Jacob Stevens, P6, John Adams, and P7, Bill Wadsworth rounding out the back. Like I said, not a lot of cars on this track, but that's alright. We're still going racing anyway. Points are still on the table. Drivers are going to have an excruciating long pace lap here. Hopefully they take that time to warm their tires, and we'll get some good racing going. I'm not sure where Bill Wadsworth is. So unless he is planning on starting from the pits, it looks like we will only have 6 cars. Oh, luckily it gave them a shorter parade lap, so we're going to be going green here very shortly. Nicholas Camp stacking them up. And they're going. Big checkup. So we dive up into turn 1. It looks like a lot of drivers are taking it easy here. Oh, I just saw Bill's Wadsworth's car in the back there of the S's, so he is in the race. He is farther behind, but he is here. Our top 4 cars seem to be pacing each other pretty well here. There hasn't been a significant gap increase. Looks like Adam Swope is taking the tire saving route, possibly staying back, waiting for the crash to happen. And it looks like Bill Wadsworth is come out of the pits late. He is hot lapping as fast as he can to catch up to the lead. As you can see, just by watching this broadcast alone, you can tell these drivers are really struggling with these cars out there. So as it looks that Nicholas Camp and Jeremiah Vincent are starting to leave the pack here in the middle of 3. It looks like we're going to have some good battle for 3rd. Currently, Jake Stevens leading that battle.
Popped into relay info, but Bill Wadsworth had a misstart due to he was changing a setting, so that's why he got that pit penalty.
Copy that. Yeah, I saw him come out late. Does he need a black flag cleared then?
No, He was perfectly good. It just made him start from the pit lane.
Copy that. Yeah, I saw him pull out. Oh, and Jake Stevens goes off track, and Nathaniel Hill actually dives down on him and gets the lead for third. Oh, it looks like Adam Swope's going to get back on Jake there too, so it puts him up into fourth. Despite the mistake, Jake is still there. Seems Jake Stevens has fallen off the pace a little bit with this three-car battle that we did have. So right now we are currently staying with Nathaniel Hill and Adam Swope's battle for P3. Oh, we're getting a battle for sixth back here. All right, as we approach lap 3, some times are starting to come in. Nicholas Camp with the fastest lap, 2.19.681. That's a heater, folks. Best I could ever muster was a 221, so that is moving. We have a couple drivers going wide here on the last, or not the last corner there, the corner of the chicanes here. Adam is staying right there with Nathaniel Hill. He might be getting a pass here for 6th place. Actually, I do believe Bill has made the pass there. I think he might be a lap down from starting in the pits. Oh no, there's lockup. They happen to stay off each other. That's good. Keep that race car moving, guys. And you can just see on even the low braking spots for these cars, the brake rotors are just glowing red. These cars are very heavy and do not like to stop and turn in this manner. Believe one thing, these drivers are muscling these corners. Just to show you, we will go on board with our current race leader, Nicholas Camp. Just to give you an idea of what these drivers are dealing with. As you can see, that is some real wheel work that you're having to do. You have to really wait on these cars to rotate. You really have to wait for that throttle. Even when you're driving this car, just like Nicholas Camp is right now, way out in the front, you can still feel the rear end wanting to slip on them, even just with light throttle input. So these drivers are really working out here today to try to keep this car around the track. So I am seeing Bill Wadsworth has got around John Adams and has moved up to 6th on the board now. Ooh, a little bit of lockup there from John Adams. It's very scary when you're around another car and your car does not stop. Oh, another big off track for John Adams there. We are staying with the battle for 6th and 7th right now because these are our two closest cars to battling for position. John just seems to be really struggling with the brakes on this car. not quite see what happened between Nathaniel Hill and Adam Swope here, but it looks like we got another battle again for P3. They did have Nathaniel Hill had quite the gap on Adam Swope here, but it looks like he's closed that gap. I'm not sure if Nate made a mistake or Adam is just finding extra time out there. Looks like Adam might be having a little bit of connection issue there. That's why you saw his car dip in and out. Ooh, there was a big hit there on the number 8 of the Jeremiah Vincent driving over the curb there. Hopefully that does not damage his car and he's able to keep it going. These S's can be very tricky, especially in this car. You almost have to wait for the turns as they come to you. It's hard to explain to somebody who's never driven on the track or you know, just from watching it from TV, but it's a very tricky circuit. Looks like we're having our first lap. John Adams has gotten over for Nicholas Camp as he comes around. Well, looks like Nick runs a little wide there. Oh, John definitely runs wide there at the corner. Looks like that 10 car is bringing some rocks onto the chicane there. Oh, you can really see the rear end of Nicholas Camp's car starting to wiggle as he tried to get on that corner a little too hard. As the position 3 and 4 car just crossed the finish line, number 1 and 2 are already in the S's. Oh, and a wide run for Adam there. Camp wastes no time getting around lap traffic. Oh, he gets wild. Oh, he keeps the car under control. remember, these two cars last race did get into each other. That was a very, very nice of Wadsworth to get out of the way there of the 8, let him by and continue his race. We appreciate that. But we are looking to have a little bit of a battle on our hands again, as Jeremiah Vincent has almost closed the gap within, I'm looking at 2 seconds now. It was under 2 seconds. It's staying around 1.82. We'll see if Jeremiah is able to save his tires. Is a little bit better than Nicholas Camp and get him before the stage break. Jeremiah Vincent is really closing this gap. Oh, Nick's getting wild. He's getting real heavy on that throttle. Oh, Nick goes for a block. Jeremiah goes for the other side. They're side by side going down the straight. Jeremiah squeezes through. Oh, Nick gets under him a little bit. Got a good battle for 1 and 2 going on right now. Oh no, Nick runs wide. Now have a new race leader for this lap, Jeremiah Vincent in the 8 car. Looks like Nicholas Camp really struggled with that last lap, 3 seconds slower than Jeremiah Vincent. Still right on top of each other, however. I do believe the tire save is now coming into play. I think Jeremiah has a lot more tire to use still. Up the leaderboards right now. It looks like the number 10 of John Adams has posted a DNF. Not sure if he pulled into the pits and retired or if he had a bad crash. As I've stated in the beginning of this broadcast, these cars are extremely hard to drive. Nathaniel Hill currently running third, taking his time. Okay, and Bill Wadsworth goes off track a little bit, lets him by. So once again, good sportsmanship there. Just about to comment on how Nathaniel Hill was coming up on lap traffic, and we'd see how he'd deal with getting around it. Jeremiah's really putting a gap on Nicholas Camp here. Not sure if Nicholas Camp is struggling with the car, has less tires. Not sure, but it seems that Jeremiah Vincent's really turning it on here with 3 laps to go in the stage. Currently P4, coming up on lap traffic. Let's see how he deals with getting around. I think Phil lifted a little bit there and let him by. Well, it looks like we're going to run the next couple laps here, guys. Pretty split on where people are on track. So, good news is to make it more exciting for you guys after the stage break comes out. Everybody's going to have to group back up, and we're going to have to do this all over again until lap 34. Yeah, the last lap time report of lap 13 for our leaders is Jeremiah Vincent with a 2:23.4 and Nicholas Camp with a 2:26.489. I'm not sure if it's just tire life or having brake issues or just missing his marks or what, but he is really starting to put a gap in between them. Jeremiah runs wide there a little bit. Hopefully he has enough incident points he doesn't have to drive through. Greg, you still in here? Alright guys, this will also be the first time we are throwing a caution for a stage break in a road course, so hopefully everything goes smoothly and nobody gets messed up on this. Alright, looks like everything is going as planned. The caution is out. Everybody should be grouping back up for this. Drivers are going to lap around, probably go into the pits, get some fuel, get some tires, and we're going to go green again here in probably, I'd say 6 or 7 minutes. Oh, a big off track, trying to slow down here. I'm gonna guess that the pit lanes are still closed. That's why we didn't see our number one driver right now go into the pits. And the pace car is out, so here we go. We are going to get our caution in. Funny, as we're in the S's, the camera is over on the back straight. You can hear somebody flying down there to catch up. And there is the number 49 of Nathaniel Hill coming up, our third place driver right now, catching the pace car. I think we're going to see everybody dive in for tires for sure here. I can't imagine anybody staying out. Still have a couple drivers trying to catch the main pack here. But as we follow along here with our top four and our iRacing.com Ford Mustang, I do believe we're going to see some cars diving into the pits here, get a fresh set of tires. Probably don't need fuel. We'll see. Hopefully they have enough to the end. I didn't bother checking. As we make this final turn approaching T20, we're going to see a lot of drivers coming into the pits here. I almost guarantee. Yep, here comes your leaders now. Make sure they hit the pits at the correct speed and they don't get speeding on pit lane. That would be a catastrophic way to ruin your race. I can hear the 6th car has stayed out. Not 6th car, the 7th car of Bill Wadsworth has stayed out. It looks like Adam Swope might have won on pit lane there over Nicholas Camp and Nathaniel Hill. Not sure what happened to Nicholas Camp on pit road here. Good thing in here is a lot of the drivers are going to be getting a break. I'll tell you, man, this car is a real handful, and you know, just a 10-lap run alone is a lot. Ooh, Nicholas Camp coming in hot. Luckily, he gets the car under control. Yeah, something happened with Nicholas Camp on pit road as he cycles back from P2 to P5.
Although we welcome everyone to enjoy these racing events, safety is paramount.
Alright, sorry about that, guys. I don't know why it was not going green, so I gave the wave around to Bill Wadsworth so he could get going, and I incidentally did that to Jeremiah Vincent too. Luckily, he knows to stay behind the pace car. Hey, Jeremiah, you got me?
Hello?
Hey, don't actually go around the pace car. I was trying to give Bill the wave around because it's not going green for whatever reason, so I just wanted to let you know, just stay behind the pace car and I'll clear any penalties. Alright, I'm out.
Barriers at all times. So, spectator areas around the circuit are now open.
Alright, we'll be going green here. And they are off. Alright, we are back to green flag racing here at lap 19. Pace lap went a little, or the stage break went a little longer than I thought it would. I have to work on shaving that down, but we are back to a nice group of racing here. Oh no, there's a big crash, a big pile up. Looks like Adam just lost the car a little bit there and everybody kind of hit with him. Not sure who's going to have significant damage out of that. It looks like Jake might have had a pretty good hit on his corner. Oh no, it looks like Nathaniel Hill has gone into the pits. Oh, you hate to see that. Battle back from P1 and P2. Now, recall at the beginning of the race here, Nicholas Camp did have more raw speed than Jeremiah Vincent. Stay with this battle as will Nick try to save and have something at the end of the race, or will he just try to get a pass and block? Oh, Nick pops the curb there. That's not what you want to do to go faster. That might have been my fault. Hopefully we get to 34. Looks like Nathaniel Hill is still in the pits and it will go a lap down. Oh, another big hop on the curve from Nicholas Camp. Really trying to find the pace out there to catch Jeremiah. Looks like Nathaniel Hill is still in the pits. Damage must be very significant from the hit. He may be retiring the car. By your current receiver, left Maverick, Nicholas Camp as well. There's a big off there. Nicholas Camp might get a run here. Oh, he spins his tires a little bit too. Looks like we might get in a braking battle. Pulled hard on the brakes. Is there contact? Oh, it's very close, but no, they stay off of each other. Back through the S's. Who's cleaner? We'll keep it pretty tidy through there. Lap report between Jeremiah and Nicholas Camp battle. Nicholas Camp was about a second faster than last lap, so in theory he should be looking for an overtake here sooner rather than later. And it looks like Adam Scorpion's around Jake Stevens. Good battle for that. Oh no, a spin by Jacob Stevens. That is going to cost him significantly for the battle for third. Able to keep it under control and get back on the track with no incidents. Just the intensity of alone of trying to keep this car on the track is enough to wear on you, let alone battling another car. You got to really give it to these drivers for keeping it on the track as long as they have. One of our rookie drivers this season, Bill Wadsworth, didn't quite make the grid. Started from the pits, still out there driving, still out there trying to get He's currently up in fifth. I am looking currently. I do see, it looks like Nathaniel Hill has made his way back out onto the track. So we'll be watching that battle for fifth as well. That hit definitely caused some issues with the 7. Looking to work his way around some lap traffic. Taking his time, Bill gets the run. Driver is really out. Oh, big spin there, almost spin. Big wheel kick from number 5. And as I was saying before that, we cut that clip there. No driver is really out of this until the absolute end. I mean, these cars are so easy to overdrive. Just a little bit of excess throttle, and you can ruin your race. So a lap report between our P1 and P2 battle going on right now. 222.606 for Jeremiah Vincent on that last lap. A 222.643 for Chris. So he's very much keeping it within the lap times. The gap is 1.7 seconds. I mean, they're right on top of each other lap times. So there's a little extra that Nick's finding somewhere, and a little extra that Jeremiah's finding somewhere, but it's not in the same spot. Lap of the session with a 223.109. He seems to be gaining significantly on Bill Wadsworth since he last looked up. Last time I checked it was over a minute, now it's down to 40 seconds. tell you, this race, getting to 34 laps, is going to be very tight. We currently have 24 minutes remaining, with drivers averaging 2:22 a lap up in 1-2 position. So we might get down to the absolute end. We might be a lap short. We'll see what happens. I think a lot of the drivers out here would like to go a lap short just because of how much they have to work this car around this course. Just putting, seems more time in between him and Nick each lap. Lap report for our leading battle, Jeremiah Vincent 222.3, Nicholas Camp 222.6. Up there, it must have been a harder downshift. Jeremiah just really managing his race car. Now we'll look back at his fastest lap in the session with a 222.1. He's currently running a 222.2. Just really finding the pace, feeling the car out, taking his time. And he looks like he's going to get it done if he keeps this up. Nicholas Camp really struggling with the car out here late in the race. Really fast in the beginning, just really struggling late in the race. I think after the botched pit stop, something happened there. He's just really having a hard time out here. Again, we're going to stay with the most exciting action. The biggest gap that the closest gap that we have right now is between the V1 and the 2 cars. So, yeah, going to be a lot of screen time for the 8 and the number 5. yeah, just once again, Jeremiah Vincent really putting his laps together here. Keeping a good, solid pace. Definitely having a little bit more tire fall-offs, dealing with some heat. Not sure, maybe Nicholas has too much fuel in the car. I'm not sure. It just seems to have really fallen off pace against Jeremiah Vincent. This was a very good battle in the beginning. Late in the first stage 1 caution there. So it does look like Nathaniel Hill has made the pass on Bill Wadsworth. However, he was 2 laps down, not 1 lap like I had thought. So we'll stay with that to the end of the race. I don't know if there's enough time for him to get around the track faster and get it back around him one more time, but he could be very close. I am receiving word on our scoreboard here that Nathaniel Hill is receiving a tow. I'm not sure exactly what happened to his car, but that might be the end of his race. Looking at the lap times, I can really see that Jake Stevens is struggling with his car. He is off pace significantly by almost 20 seconds. Bill Wadsworth just ran his fastest lap with a 2:33.3. And as we walk the checkered line here, start finish, we now approach lap 29. So we're getting very close to the end of this race. It looks like Jeremiah Vincent just has this hand over fist in the bag. Hopefully he keeps that car together and he does not make any major mistakes because Nicholas Camp is not far behind. I know that gap seems huge right now, but man, a spin out with this car or hitting it into the wall, it can be all over very fast, as we saw earlier. Just a light tap with Jacob Stevens and Adam Swope. Nathaniel Hill there, and Nathaniel Hill has a mess of his race is done. For the most part, he tries to get it back out there. He's currently towed. He must have had damage he didn't fix, but in the heat of the moment, you try to get it back out there. You try to get a good finish. Jake Stevens clearly dealing with damage on his car as well. Looks like Adam was the only one who got out of that clean, despite being the one that was spun in the track there. of Vincent, approaching lap traffic. All lines around, no incidents. Crossing the line there. We have 4 to go in this race. 4 to go with 11 minutes and 55 seconds. I think we're going to finish the race today, guys. It's always an unsettling sound as you're coming down from first gear to make that corner, and you can just hear a fourth gear V8 wide open coming down that backstretch. You feel like you're not doing enough to go faster, and you can easily make a mistake in just listening to yourself and getting your own thoughts here. Getting word now that Daniel Hill has retired his car. Okay, we are two to go here. We have currently 7 minutes left in the session, so I do believe that we will finish under green flag conditions with 34 laps ran by our race leaders. There's just big gaps out there in between each driver now, those who are remaining. Really not much to say. We had a real good battle for 3, 4, and 5 all there, running pretty close for a while. We had a great battle between Jeremiah and Nicholas for 1 and 2. It just seems that as the track gets older and drivers get more worn out, it just seems that Jeremiah is just staying in that pocket with his mates, able to keep his car going. I know a lot of drivers are probably dealing with fatigue. Pretty much every driver here is on a direct drive wheel. They're wheeling this thing for a whole hour and a half. It is brutal, and we have drivers in the back that are dealing with damage. That makes it even harder to keep the car on the road clean. So kudos to all the drivers that are still remaining. Unfortunately for Nathaniel Hill, that crash just, took him out of the race. Not entirely sure what happened to John Adams, but again, it is a very hard race car to drive. It is a very hard circuit track that we were dealing with here. So there's just a lot of variables into this road racing, especially with this car. We will get it back to something that's more familiar with in oval racing in a couple of weeks here. However, these drivers are going to Darlington, and if you know anything about Darlington Raceway, it's called the Lady in Black for a reason. It's going to be a very tough track. It's going to be mostly survival there. I would be surprised if we have 3 cars that finish. Now that's taking nothing away from the drivers that are currently in this lead. Alright, as he crosses the line with lap 33, we have 1 to go here. Going to be a tight finish. Well, tight on the server time at least. Don't think we're going to get that last lap in. It's going to be very tight. Jeremiah Vince across the line with a 224.443. We currently have 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. So, Oh, nope, the race is white flag this time by, white flag this time by. So we may not get every driver across the line, however, they will get their points from where they are on the finish. Our only tight road course this season, as it is the longest. Like I said, it's almost 4 miles, so going to be really just ringing the buzzer on the time here. Approaching lap traffic. Bill Wadsworth goes ahead and lets him by. A little big slide there by Adam Swope. Definitely tires at this point are getting late in the run and getting a little loose. Vincent is going to finish the race under green flag conditions with no expiration of time. And it looks like Nicholas Camp will be your second place driver tonight. Time on the cool down lap. And here comes the 3 driver. Adam Swope rounding the corner and crossing the line. Checkered flag. Looks like we have Jake Stevens coming up about maybe 20 seconds to the line. So a lot of these drivers will take their time getting back around. We're going to go back to Jeremiah Vincent and see if he burns it down for us. Well, once he gets back around. Like I said, these drivers are whooped. Jake Stevens crosses the line in P4. Rounding out your race, you have Jeremiah Vincent in the 8 car finishing number 1. Nicholas Camp in the number 500s motorsports.com. In P2, and 84 in the Ghost car, Adam Swope. Fight Oaks Field's car, 27th, and Jacob Stevens. Bill Wadsworth in the Oscar Mayer car in P7 or P5, excuse me. Daniel Hill in P6, and John Adams P7. A nice burn down for Jeremiah Vincent. All right, we will get pull Jeremiah up here in just a second, and we will get our race interview along with our second finishing driver, P2 Nicholas Camp, and Adam Swope in P3. We'll get a broadcast for them. We'll get a little interview with them, let them know how their race went. And I'm pretty sure Jeremiah, oh, I thought he was going to blow that car up. He got out of it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pull Jeremiah up here. Hey driver, you got a copy? He's still doing burnouts. Alright, we'll move him back down until he's done having fun. Hey driver, you got a copy?
Yeah, what's going on?
So, walk us through there. You get past late before the stage break. You go down pit road, you're in P2. What happens on pit road?
I don't know. I think my jack man, he dropped the jack or something. They didn't have the right side tires all the way zipped back on. They had to pick the car back up. Pit road was a big struggle there. We lost a bunch of spots. Car was feeling great in stage one, man. I mean, we ran a 218. I think I ran it a little too hard. Had a bunch of fall off near the end of the stage. Car was still feeling good overall. And then once the pit cycle struck, I mean, it was like stage two, and you know, I made up a little bit of ground there, but really, it was the car wasn't the same from the stage. I don't know. It was.
I'm thinking the track conditions and maybe it got a little looser, maybe a little stickier. I don't know. Just judging based on the times there you guys were running, you were able to get back around up into P2 and then run down Jeremiah there, and then just fell off pace there. I didn't know if it was the tires or the track feel or what, but you were running a good race against him and then just fell off. I wasn't sure what happened. Was trying to get a better picture of that, and then of course the pit road struggles. Still taking away a P2 though. That's you can at least save your race a little bit from there. You did set the pole, so you will get an extra point for that. I do believe you had the fastest lap in the race. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I'll have to check.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, after that second stage, me and my team, we got to go, Team Hendrick, we got to go back and analyze the data, but something happened there in stage two, man. I was up there with Vincent, and then it was just like the car fell on its face. I mean, I had no rotation. I was really struggling there in stage two. I'm wondering if track conditions changed. You know, we're gonna have to go back and analyze the data and really see what happened there.
All right, well, still P2, not a bad finish. We'll see you a couple weeks here in Darlington.
All right, let's do it. We'll see you in a few weeks. Thank you.
Yep. Hey, driver, you got a copy?
Hello?
Driver, you got a copy? All right, we will pull you back up for the third interview. Hopefully there's some issues, you just can't hear me. I definitely can hear you talk, so we'll figure that out. We'll definitely get your interview. We're going to bring Adam Swope up here.
Hello?
Oh, can you hear me now? Driver, can you hear me? All right, we're going to go ahead and bring Adam up, and we'll get Jeremiah on the end. Driver, you got a copy?
I got you.
Can you walk me through exactly what happened there? It looked like you guys got in a bit of a pile up. Looks like some of you got some damage. It looks like Nate had to retire his car over it. What happened? Walk me through that.
Yeah, so entering the turn, tapped the brakes, and the car just stepped out from under me, went into a skid. I just locked it down. I held the brake, hoping that everybody else would miss me. I know Nick went low. He managed to miss it. Unfortunately, Nate got into the side of me, and I think Jake got into the back of him. Feel absolutely terrible about it. Worst part about it is I came out of it pretty much unscathed, whereas he had damage and had to pit, and ultimately it took him out. So yeah, I feel terrible, and I take responsibility for that incident.
Well, I mean, you still managed a P3 out of it. You guys were having a great battle through stage 1. You guys were all right on top of each other. The same thing kind of happened a little bit up on our leaders too, as the stage break went around and we went green flag racing. Jeremiah just managed to keep outpacing Nick and just really started running away from him. I think everybody was having troubles with the fresh tires on the rubbered up track.
Yeah, I don't know if it was so much fresh tires or if track conditions were changing that much, but that second half of the race, it was definitely a lot more slick.
Yep, and we kind of noticed that. Luckily, it looked like most of the people, you know, even when they were around each other, were very aware and taking their time. I know these cars are very hard to drive, especially here, and especially as the track got hotter and more gripped up. But P3, great drive. We will see you in Darlington in a couple weeks here.
Yep, sounds good. See you then.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Yep, see you.
All right, we are going to try to bring Jeremiah Vincent back up into the booth. Hopefully he's got his mic working. Definitely can hear him. I don't know if he can't hear us or what the deal is. So we're going to bring him back in the booth and see if we can't hear anything. Hey, driver, you got a copy?
Got a copy.
All right, good. You can hear me now. So sorry about that. We were going to bring you up first, but we moved through everybody else while you figured out what you were doing. You were still obviously having fun out there blowing up the car. So let's walk me through from stage 1 to the end of the race here. What happens? What transpires? Because you did not start on the pole, and you were able to get the pass done on Nick late in the stage, and Nick has some trouble on pit road, but managed to drive back to P2. Walk us through that a little bit. The issues that you might have been having. Were you worried about him behind you? You know, you just had a great race, and I just want to hear it from your perspective.
First off, I want to thank my Lord Savior Jesus Christ for this one. That one, I'm terrible at road courses, so but like the beginning of it, the car just felt too snug. It didn't want to turn. And then probably, I want to say about five laps into it, I felt like I got enough scrub on it, and the rear started rotating like I wanted to. And then I started remembering what our teammate over in the Speed Series, Ryan Shelton, taught me at this track in the Cup car, and I actually started working with this car, and I just started trying to stay as consistent as possible, try to keep my rears under me the best I can, and then I started noticing, like, man, I'm actually like making some moves on this with this car, and like starting to catch up to him. Then I saw where Nick slipped just a little bit there late in the stage, and I was able to be able to battle with him. That was pretty fun right there, battling with him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, that was the best pass of the night, I would say.
Yeah, like after that, like the tires just felt great. They're nice, stickied up, and like all the technical areas, I was able to just catch a good grip with it. Had the right amount of heat in the tires, not too much, and I didn't wear it off too much. And then I took that knowledge with the when the stage ended to carry over to stage 2 at the end of the race, and I just got up there. I was wondering what happened to Nick. He was telling me that something like this pits, they messed up on him or something, but like he did a good job getting back up there. But yeah, like early, I don't know if you know, early after that, the stage break and stuff, I was kind of like wasn't really getting going. It was kind of a little bit like the same thing with the first stage where it just a little bit snug, but then about like 2-3 more laps on them, but it felt just right, and then I just set sail with it.
Well, that's we're happy to hear that, and we're happy to see you take P1. We're gonna see you a couple weeks here in Darlington. You got any thoughts on that?
Hope to keep the car in one piece. His main thing. The lady in black likes to beat up some race cars there.
I do have a feeling that a lot of cars are going to be tore up there, especially because they don't really like to drive there. These SRXs don't really like to drive there. So we'll look for that. There's going to be some survival for sure. But a P1 here, that helps your points. I haven't looked at the pole and fastest lap and all that, but yeah, a great finish for you. We hope to talk to you again sometime here soon.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, take it easy.
All right, that will conclude our broadcast for today. As I said previously, Jeremiah Vincent, number 8, P1 today. Nicholas Kemp, P2. Adam Swope, P3. Jacob Stevens, P4. Bill Wadsworth, P5. Nathaniel Hill, P6. And John Adams, P7. Hopefully we'll have more drivers for us at Darlington in a couple weeks here. And we hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Thanks.